Alright guys, welcome back to week 4 of Emerald Spire. This level is known as the God Home. I am GM Arthur Perkins, and we are back with the usual group, minus one Anash this week. Apparently, the stress of dying last week has put him into a coma. So Thrain and Battlecat may not be with us this week. Let's catch up with everybody here. Dom, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing excellent.
What's
I
new
ordered a
with you?
pizza. It was chicken and beef.
And
Oh yeah, I didn't
consider
get the
doing
job.
Snacks.
So yeah. Oh, snacks. Yeah, snacks. Is level 3. Yay! More spells, more magic missile. One more level, then I can cure moderate. Yay!
Good stuff. Kai, welcome back this week. Did we lose you? I think we lost
And we
him.
have a man down already.
Yep.
Oh dear.
We'll hop back to that in a minute. Kroama, I know you and Judge are excited to talk about all the changes you have going on.
Judge, now that I've grown more experienced in combat, I feel like I can adequately control a mount. Thus, I have brought in my pony, Witness, who will serve me as my faithful steed until my boar, Jury, is old enough to experience true combat. This will be enjoyable.
Alright, Eric. I think Betzal had quite a close encounter last week. How is he dealing with that?
He's feeling relieved to have survived, I would say. He's definitely nervous about and is reconsidering hiding more quickly in these sort of circumstances. Definitely made him invest in buying a wand and some better weapon to hopefully kill things before they start repeatedly bashing him while thrusting their cod pieces at him.
That guy.
That was quite traumatic.
He made small children cry.
Steven, how are you and Arubis doing this week?
We're doing fine. He actually leveled up to 3, and now he figured out what his family sword was all about. It's black. He's able to unsheath it, and he learned the art of dancing.
Oh, so, I'm guessing you're now a dervish dancer, black-bladed magus, then.
That is correct.
Can I ask what his name is?
It hasn't told him.
Okay, good. I'm going to make up a name for you again, and I'm going to review this. Because my understanding is that the sword is intelligent and has its own mission, and sometimes it talks to you in your face.
Yeah, it does.
This should be interesting.
So,
but when he...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when he does his day job checks, all he says is that if someone gets hurt, it's their own fault because they're standing too close, and he's warned them.
So true. So true.
I don't fear your pain.
So just real quick here, I wanted to give a shout out to the guys at the Emerald Spire project. They spent the last few months compiling data about their run-through of the Emerald Spire and are releasing it one level at a time. I looked over the first few levels and found them to be pretty relevant to how I was running it, and I think I'm going to continue looking at what they put out in the future. If you're interested, the link is here at the stream down there at the bottom.
I don't see it.
Check them out. They're also on Facebook. And let's move ahead then. Kai, did we get you back? Kai?
Sorry, never left.
Okay, cool. So, what's new with you and with Aster this week?
Nothing's new faster except you can channel 2 die 6 for positive energy now.
Interesting. All right.
Oh yeah, I did fail to mention one thing. Snacks does have a new sweet tattoo on.
I see. What's this new tat look like? And where is it located?
It's on his stomach. It says magic is food and food is life.
It's very poignant. Very poignant.
AK is the mage tattoo feat.
Rizian tattoo? Yeah.
Yes. Plus 1 to evitation spells. Woohoo.
Okay, so let's get to it then. Between the Echo Wood and a broad expanse of the West Sullen River stands a resolute stronghold of law and order, the walled town of Fort Inevitable. From its stern keep, companies of Hell Knights ride forth to enforce the strict laws of their commander and bring authority to the unclaimed lands of the Crusader Road. While the taxes imposed by the town's rulers are heavy and laws inflexible, none can deny the prosperity that has followed the Hell Knights' establishment of hard justice in this small corner of the River Kingdoms. Merchants, travelers, and adventurers journeying on the Crusader Road find that Fort Inevitable provides them with a rare island of safety in an otherwise lawless land, so long as one is careful not to run afoul of the Hell Knights' laws. So your group is returning from your previous adventure, and you're outside the gates of Fort Inevitable with their massive stone abutments and the sharp cast iron gate. When 3 Hell Knights in enormous black armor, the face plates, grinning skulls, and their chest plates, devil faces, stop you with their enormous broad axes and say, "Hello there, what is your business in Fort Inevitable?"
We are returning from our adventure upon the Emerald Spire. We are here to proceed to rest and recuperate for the further missions downward as Pathfinder Society agents.
So the first 2 Hell Knights in their full plate mail just continue to block your path with these axes, and the third one pulls off her helm and starts staring at each of you for a few seconds and tries to hold eye contact with you and produces some yellow ribbons and hands them to anyone in the party that does not ping as lawful. So anyone that has chaotic or neutral alignment, it says, "Now you do not have to wear these, but we appreciate it if you would self-identify by wearing these ribbon bracelets."
Okay. I tie one into a bow into my hair. I make it look pretty.
Very well.
I tie it to my blade.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So that's all. They do hand you the bracelet. Ribbon, I should say.
I look at it and examine it. I haven't decided yet where to stick it.
I see. That phrase is so delightfully ambiguous. Aster, you've been handed this ribbon because I believe you're quite chaotic.
I burn it.
I see.
You may want. I see him start to burn it. Can I? I know it's
It's not
PvP, but
required.
The
can I
Hell
try
Knights
and-
simply shake their head and say, "You know, you have done that the last 2 times that you have entered this town." And they point to a picture of your face. You know, there are hundreds of faces of wanted posters hanging from the walls, and you realize that with the weather, they'd have to be changed out after every rainstorm. But this one appears to be a pretty perfect replication of Aster, claiming that he is a suspected criminal and to keep an eye on him whenever he's in town. And the Hell Knight Signifer just sits there and writes Aster's name in her giant book of lists and says, "Very well then, you are all free to enter the town. As you know, Per Lictor, Lord Governor, and Dara Drovus has said that the Pathfinders can base out of here for some amount of time, but do not interfere with our laws. Now I must tell you, in case you're intrigued, we have a slave market going down today. It is all quite a good stocks this year. You may want to pick up some manservants for your expedition, non?
We may find going down deeper into the dungeon. We may have more difficulty carrying a lot of things out if we do not have aid. I'm not certain though.
Well, they are your slaves. As long as you do not mistreat them, they are good. Now, El Cheliax, and you may enter Fort Inevitable. And the two black-plated Hell Knights pull up their massive axes and step aside, facing forward with their insidious gazes.
I look up with my my very low stature compared to them. Thank you, good sirs.
Their faces do not move.
I know.
Behind their imposing black faceplates.
I take one of the wanted posters of myself.
As you do, she produces another wanted poster of you and simply places it on the wall. She has like these huge portfolios that she keeps in a messenger bag. And just pulls one of a dozen pictures of you out. So as you wander through the town, there is a man being beaten in the street for stealing a loaf of bread. Various people just call out the Hell Knights saying how happy they are to see them. And there's a graffiti with a seven-sided star with a fox jumping through it on the side of one of the local inns. And it's done with fully white silver paint. And it says the Silver Foxes underneath it. And when you approach it, a beggar comes out of the alley and says, "The Silver Foxes shall rise again. Be strong, brothers. The Hell Knight oppression will end soon."
Does he say this to us?
Yes.
I'm fairly certain that trying to overthrow the government is against the law here.
It tends to be most
He
everywhere.
looks at you and he says, "Are you a Hell Knight collaborator, son?"
Are you committing a conspiracy against the Hell Knights? Because there's no way.
He blinks as if studying your face thoroughly, then whips his cloak around and disappears in a puff of smoke.
Hey! Where'd you go?
Make a perception check.
I will do so. I'm not very good at this.
Yes, he appears to disappear in that puff of smoke. You find nothing further. Vetsalal and Aster, you both noticed that he was using some sort of street alchemy or what might be called street magic. Just throwing down like a powdered smoke ball and then running around a corner while your eyes were blinded and the smoke took up your vision. You caught his cape as he walked around the corner.
I say I like to cut
Amateur.
his gym.
I'd like to follow him if I.
I will have to report on this later.
Okay, can you make a survival check to follow him?
All right. Do I have bonuses on that?
Where's our companion gone?
Yeah.
Steve, are you mobile? I just noticed that.
10.
Yeah, I have to move around.
Alright, that's cool. So you try to track him, but you have no experience tracking, and more importantly, it's a city street. There's no real obvious tracks. You quickly lose him in a crowd.
Done. Alright. I return to the group.
As you do, you find someone bumps into you, and there's a note in your hand that has a silver seven-sided star with a fox jumping through the middle of it.
Is that all that's on the note?
Yes.
Alright. I've been in here for 1 day and I've already joined Revolution.
Freedom is the only way.
Troublemaker.
Woo!
Vetsalal is contractually obligated to avoid such activity.
Actually, the contract applies.
Persistent plot hook buggers, aren't they?
The contract applies to the Emerald Spire. We are now outside of the Emerald Spire.
That is true. We are still Pathfinders, however.
Yeah, I'm from
I
the
trust my
Freedom
Pathfinder
Edge.
companions.
So,
Right on, brother.
as you're talking, you're at like a Y intersection, and from all three directions, a squad of Hell Knight patrol approaches, and you're quickly surrounded by huge men in black, breastplated armor, and men and women in various robes or light armors, wielding
That's
some
perfect.
sort of
I had something I
hellish
would like
fire
to
in their
report.
hand. The Hell Knights say, "Oh, do not worry. There's so much for you to talk about with the Lord Commander. You will be coming with us now." And all of the groups pivot and indicate which direction you should be heading to, right to the fort, the heart of the fort.
All right.
Understood. Yeah, sure. I'll follow. I kind of hesitate for a moment because I'm waiting for a explanation to why I'm being detained. But this is the Hell Knight place. I won't question it.
So,
They have
you're led
reason.
through rank after rank of Hell Knight soldiers and squads. There seems to be about 40 regular soldiers here and 60 riders who patrol the road with another, there's enough bunk space and housing for horses that there could easily be another 60 who are currently out on patrol on the Crusader Road. And you're led to a very tall, imposing woman with light blue skin. And her armor, instead of being made of metal, appears to be made entirely out of solidified bone and has numerous jagged edges coming off of it. And she wears like a crown of pure bone with gold instead of gems embedded into it. And she says, "Good evening. I am Lady Aldar Grovis. May I ask who I have the pleasure of speaking with?"
My name is Judge Dredd. I am a gnomish paladin of the Pathfinder Society, and I'm currently tasked with investigating the Emerald Spire with my companions here, who I will let introduce themselves.
I am Aster. Perhaps you have seen me before.
Your face is one that, over the last few days, has graced my town walls.
I am Betzelo, native of the lands of Chelax, and I would be surprised if you had run across me before, or at least noticed.
She turns toward you and says, "Ah, I see you are one of the shadow people. Are you perhaps a fetchling? The Nidal and the Cheliax have a very close relationship."
No, not that particular branch of the family.
She kind of dismisses you at that point. She's like, "Oh."
I am Arubis. Death comes for those who like apple pie.
I
You
must
see
warn
Snacks
you,
kind of quiver.
if you are murdering people who are eating apple pie, you will quickly find yourself crow apple pie. And to be more clear, what I mean to say is, do not kill people without permission.
Understood.
And she turns towards
But-
Snacks.
Snacks not paying attention. He's eating a piece of apple pie.
Simply stands there and waits for you to say something.
Apple pie.
Excuse me,
just look-
Snacks.
Oh, sorry. I'm Snacks. I hail from Andor. Enough said.
That's a good conversation starter in Chelia.
So are you
Hell,
halfling as well?
Yes, I am. And a freedom fighter.
So she specifically moves toward you to stand over you. She's about 7 feet taller than you at this point. Right?
I'm
Because you're
eating
only
my
like
apple
3
pie.
feet tall. And she's got like 1 foot lifts on her boots. And she looks down on you, all those many feet down, and says, "I must warn you, little halfling, there are no resistance movements here. Whatever pathetic fledgling banditry has infected the town, your scum kind should not join it. And take care that you keep your papers close and your wayfinder out, or you may find yourself claimed as the property of the Chilaxian government once more.
Wow, right?
Excuse me, ma'am. On that note, there's something I would like to report, actually.
I see. What is it?
While we were adventuring around and getting used to the town, an individual wrapped in a cloak came to approach us, trying to recruit us for some sort of conspiracy. I'm not sure what. I tried to ask him more, but as soon as he realized that I was not on their side, so to speak, he disappeared, and I was not able to find him.
What did
On
this
the note.
man look like?
I'll try and describe the old
You didn't
man in the
get a
cloak.
good look. He just
I didn't get a
black
good look.
cloak and a hood on.
Which is what I described, basically. Because, yeah. To the best of my ability.
She turns towards you and starts staring at you very directly and says, "You saw nothing. No one talked to you."
I suppose... Oh, that's not right. Alright. I understand the point you're trying to make.
She continues to stare at you for about 30 seconds until it gets really uncomfortable.
So she's still over me. Can I look away now?
I will
She
stare
is
in return.
standing-
Should
Over
the
snack,
Hell Knight
but
really
looking-
be arguing against natural law? Against.
So she's
Seems rather
standing over
tall.
snacks but looking at Judge.
I kind of brushed the crumbs off my face.
Three of us are less than 4 feet tall, so it's pretty easy for her to just be over all of us.
Indeed.
Mhm.
So she clicks her heels together and then does an about face and sits behind her desk, which is more like a throne at this point, and says, "The Hell Knights here do not recognize the right of any self-declared adventurers to kill villains and seize their belongings. That is banditry. And should you ride back to Fort Inevitable after committing such vigilantism, you will be arrested. However, I have secured letters of warrant after much discussion with your venture captain Daniel Armshanks. Thereby, I am giving you, the bearers, and your company to act in the interest of good order and keep the Lady Commander's loss." And it doesn't take much for you to realize that that is incredibly vague wording for a Hell Knight dictate. But you were each given a letter of warrant, including one for Thrain.
What?
I will proceed to try and read over the warrant to the best of my ability.
Very well. There is an incredibly small asterisk towards the end of it, and in very microscopic print at the very bottom, it indicates that in order for this to be valid, you must require reports of what action was taken while using the letter of warrant.
Nothing happened here.
Alright.
Yeah, Judge. I'm as part of the contracts. I think I'm going to request that you fill those papers for me.
Of
Mine.
course, I will ascertain to the detailing of all of these papers necessary for all combats that we proceed down in Emerald Spire. In fact, I would not trust anybody but myself for this deed. No offense.
He's our lawyer.
I just want to be clear, you're basically signing away all of your rights in this country to Judge at that point then.
And
You are only allowed to adventure as long as you're in the company of someone carrying one of these. As soon as Judge says that you're no longer part of his company, you could be in deep
Wait, I
danger.
thought we all had individual.
You do, but
letters.
I thought you said you were giving your orders to Judge.
God,
No, I was asking Judge to write the reports.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Of course. All
I'm
right.
not, I'm not taking his warrant.
And to follow up on this, I would like someone each week to write an actual report of what happened in the last dungeon, just in case someone
very
misses,
good.
and so we can recap everything.
Judge will perform the necessary documentation. I will proceed to buy charcoal, or not, well, pen and ink quill and the paper, and
You can
Yeah, we'll
certainly do
take
that
notes.
once you're outside the Lady Commander's
Yeah.
office.
of course.
And So just every week, I would like someone to just take notes and give a recap at the beginning of every session of what happened last time.
Okay.
And after handing out your letters of warrant, she simply stands there and says, "Do you have any questions?"
Hmm.
Very,
So
very
to
well.
clear. Okay.
Oh, you have some questions?
I was just going to clarify. So far, when we've been down there, we've been meeting with a lot of individuals who refuse to come back and verify their self-proclaimed ownership of the Emerald Spire. Unfortunately, this usually ends in their death. This is not opposed as because of the act.
She looks at you and says,
I always offer them a chance to come back, but they always refuse.
"As long as they act in the interests of good order and law, then we do not need to keep tabs on them."
And if they do not, yeah. Good.
However, we should note that the Emerald Spire is outside our jurisdiction.
Very good.
It is off of the road, and our charter here only applies to Fort Inevitable, the River Kingdom's Crusader Road.
So what happened in Emerald Spiral stays in the Emerald Spiral.
Well, obviously,
So wait.
you now have the legal justification to dispatch with any vigilantes or banditry within the Spire without any jurisdictional mix-ups.
What about if we see another individual like that one man in the cloak that I saw before? Could I instill open hostility in attempts to apprehend him? In the interest
of
of...
course. If you were to
Okay.
kill him in the pursuit of justice, no one would question it.
All right. Good to know.
In fact, I would almost insist that you kill him.
I would try to avoid killing him because I feel like he deserves a fair trial before his death.
Well, let us be clear here. Anyone caught with any symbolism of any resistance groups that do not exist, we assume that they are guilty before innocent, and we execute them on the spot. It is good for morale and public order.
I will attempt to uphold your law as much as possible while here under Abadar's name.
Excellent. Now, might I suggest that you check out the slave markets? You can buy a number of fine slaves. I believe the going rate is around 200 a head. A good day to you.
Good day.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe you have a purchase you want to make of pen and paper.
Yes. Let me go and check for costs on that. A lot of paper and some pen.
I would like to visit the slave market.
Very well. There are a number of whips and chains in evidence there, but the slaves are generally well treated in all respects.
Mm-hmm.
There are probably about 30 of them. Most of them appear to be little more than common bandit, riffraff, the occasional halfling.
How much is purchasing one?
I think it's 200 gold pieces per head for a slave. It should be listed in the core book, however.
It depends on the slave. I think it's 100 for a human, like 200 for a halfling or something like that. I can't remember what.
Yeah, I think the pricing is in the core book.
Yeah, depending on skills as well.
Indeed. Well, you guys have anything further that you'd like to do before you finish resting and move down to the next level of the Emerald Spire?
That's well, we'll check to make sure there's none of his kind there. If not, then he's like, I'm sure they deserve it.
You do not find any Wei-Yangs in evidence. Your race is relatively rare throughout the Inner Sea to begin with.
A common slave is 75 gold.